There's been a lot of great 13th overall picks in NBA history. From Kobe Bryant to Karl Malone to Devin Booker to Donovan Mitchell, All-Stars and future Hall of Famers have continually been found with the second to last lottery pick. And this year's 13th pick could be special as well. That would be wing sniper Gradey out of Kansas, who was scooped up by the Toronto Raptors at 13. He was an immediate contributor as a freshman at Kansas and helped lead them to be one of the best teams in the country. But the thing that stands out with Gradey is his personality just as much as his shooting. He wore a sparkly red suit to the draft in a nod to the Wizard of Oz and the saying, "We're not in Kansas anymore." He has a TikTok with 250,000 followers. He immediately asked Drake for a follow after being drafted to the Raptors and does a very good Donald Duck impression. But the shooting is good too, with Bill Self calling him the best freshman shooter he's ever had at Kansas. With everything combined, it feels as if Gradey is destined to be an NBA star, and he is the future of the Toronto Raptors. Now let's take a deeper look at what makes GD so special. Before we get into the Raptors drafting Gradey, if you enjoy my content and watch a few videos of mine, think about subscribing. 96% of my viewers are actually not subscribed, so if you watched me before and enjoy the content, drop a sub and comment down below. It really helps the channel. The Raptors selected Kansas guard Gradey with the 13th pick in the 2023 NBA Draft. A former 5-star recruit from Wichita, Kansas, initially committed to the Jayhawks over offers from Baylor, Creighton, Iowa State, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, and Texas Tech, among others. He joined a 2022 Kansas recruiting class that took 5th place and included 3 4-star recruits. The 6'8" guard averaged 14 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1.5 steals during the 36 games he played for Kansas last season. He hit 44% of his attempts from the field and 40% of his tries from the three-point line. Only forward Jalen Wilson, now a member of the Brooklyn Nets, scored more points per game than Dick on the roster. Kansas head coach Bill Self praised the 19-year-old guard in February. "He's the best freshman shooter I've ever had, so hands down. So we've got to just get him more shots, but he's the best freshman shooter I've ever had. And we've had some pretty good freshmen if you go back to Joel Embiid and Andrew Wiggins and those cats. So I'm not going to say that. But as far as having a freshman year, I would put his freshman year with just about anybody. Any freshman that we've ever had here when you just talk about the year." Dick said he wanted to show his versatility earlier this month. "I've always wanted to show my versatility. When I come into a playstyle like the NBA, it really excites me when the floor is more opened up. If he can continue shooting at a consistent rate as he makes his jump into the NBA, he can be a solid option for the Raptors as they look for extra scorers and shooters off the bench." Toronto's bench hit just 32% of its attempts from the three-point line last season, putting it in 27th place in the NBA, behind the Pacers, New Orleans Pelicans, and New York Knicks for last. Guard Gary Trent Jr., who shot 37% from the three-point line last season, opted into his player option for the 2024 season last week. Forward Otto Porter Jr. and Malachi Flynn, who both hit 35% of their three-point attempts last season, will also be under contract for Toronto. The Raptors will very likely still need to look for shooting talent in free agency, but having Gradey on the roster can at least give them a reliable option off the bench on a budget for the foreseeable future. But he can end up being so much more than that. Thanks for watching. I'm Herm. Have a good one.